Alright, hey, how's it going everybody? I'm Kenny back here with, this time the E50 Tier 9 German medium. One of the original mediums, not the new one, the Tiger P, or not the Tiger, Leopard prototype, which leads to the Leopard 1. This is the original E50, which leads to the E50M Tier 10. Sitting here on El Haloof in a slightly tier 10 game. A couple tier 10s on each team, mostly tier 9s with some tier 8s. Really like this map, and I really love fighting it out up in that A1, A2, B1 area. I really like the change they made over there. It's really good for dueling. And this tank, you know, before I got it, I heard a lot of people talk about how it's really strong. I know they say the same thing about the E75 and how strong that is, but they said the same thing about the E50 and how great its armor is at bouncing things. But I really had a lot of trouble with it because I could never really get the whole side scraping thing down, and just could never really figure out how to position the tank to really use its armor. And so it always felt kind of weak compared to what I thought it should be. So in this match, I'm going to be like, okay, you know what? We got a whole lot of mediums. Or no, sorry. A whole lot of heavies. I'm the only medium on this whole battle.
It's a
and
trap!
So, you know, I figure I can be the first one here, get the strong position, use this rock, really protect that lower plate. And as you can see here, just start working on some of these heavies. And then this wild-eyed IS-7 comes rolling up. Okay, I'm not going head-to-head with an IS-7. No way. So back off. I say, alright, I'll give you that. I got some friends coming up, so if you try and poke around, I'll stop you, track you, and maybe some of them will do some damage to you. So, made him waste his repair kit there, so he can get out of the way. He's a pretty decent player. And if you look, pretty much both teams are well even. We have one blue player, but other than that, it seems to be about an even match. So I don't have the statistics on as far as the win-loss percentage chance to thing, because I just don't like looking at it. It just kind of messes with your head too much. But just looking at this, it looks like we have about a 50-50 chance. So, alright. I'm going to sit here, hold this corner, try my best at that whole side scraping thing again. Look at this, hold on, come on. A 110E5, an IS-7, an IS-8, and another IS-8. 4 heavy tanks, 2 of them tier 10, 2 of them tier 9. And there's me, 1 IS-8, and a whole cluster of people held way back there because they're afraid to cross in front of that 5120, that Conqueror, and those guys over there. So this is what we're looking at here. Now, from this position, if they come out and they look at me, they'd have to come all the way out here to get a shot at my front plate. Which means if they just kind of peek, they're looking at those guys, and I say it's a little bit too exposed, getting that hull vulnerable. They can see underneath that beak of his, get that vulnerable plate. So probably not the best position for him. Same thing with the E75, way out in the open with these guys come around. So kind of in a tough position for the rest of the team. My position, really strong. It's really hard for them to get around. They'd have to come all the way around that rock to get good shots at me from where I'm at. And of course, I don't just sit there, you know, do a little back and forth. Scoping in, scoping out, seeing what's going on, checking what's going on around me. Really want to get that IS-8, that 144, because he's a one-shot. Take him out, not have to worry about him, one less gun doing damage. But he's playing it pretty cagey. And you see what he does here? Reverse side scrapes, turns his back toward you, so it gives him a better angle because his turret's now at the back of his tank. So he actually would not be exposing if he comes around like this. You can see there's his gun, there's his turret, and there's the side of his tank, which at that angle is going to be pretty bouncy, and you can't really get a shot at that vulnerable back end. So he's playing that really well as far as that position. He just took a lot of damage getting there. But it didn't help because our artillery takes him out. So here we can see, oh, bad timing. IS-7 trying to be sneaky. He tries to do some reverse side scraping, not reverse side scraping, but side scraping himself. Backing up, but that rear wheel of his shows just enough. At just the wrong angle, I can get shots into it, track him, and maybe do some damage. So, see, right there, he can't do anything because that wreck's in the way. Really sweet shot right there. I just wish he lasted a little bit longer. Our team so far seems to be doing well. We're up 2-1. Lovely shot to the back deck. He keeps exposing that back end. I'll, take those shots all day long. So they've kind of backed off this corner. We haven't really done what we killed down one IS-8 and half damage on the other IS-8. Oh look, now there's a Tiger 2. Tier 8. He's still, pretty decent threat. He's got a good gun, decent armor. Not as great as an IS-7 or an IS-8 or, an E-75, but, still definitely something to keep a watch for. So we're still sitting with 3 to 4 tanks here that, okay, it's still me. Now we have an E-75. The IS-8's kind of backed off. He's focused more back here, but still managing to hold them off, keeping enough pressure that they can't come around. And we still got that crowd of tank destroyers back there. They're just ripping them apart if they come around too far. So that's kind of causing them to hold back, which is good for me, because, yeah, it wouldn't last long if they came rolling around there, all 3 of them, 4 of them at once. So I'm trying to keep an eye on what's going on behind me, making sure I don't get flanked, because that's pretty much the most vulnerable thing that happens here, is if they come around this hill and somehow get in behind me, then I have these guys in front, these guys behind, and I'm sandwiched and dead, and yeah, it's really ugly. Happens all the time. Hate it. So we're just playing the back and forth games, saying peekaboo, look, I'm here, hey, you're there. Who's going to have the guts to peek out a little bit, take a risk? And again, you know what? I'm a medium tank. These are heavies. I'm the only medium tank. Oh, bad news. Waffenträger E100 is now dead. Our best player and our most powerful damage dealing tank is gone. So that hurts. That puts us in a lot of trouble. The WZ-111 over there, he's a one-shot. Looking like he's about ready to be taken out by the Conqueror and IS-8. They're pushing up, being very aggressive. He's got no backup. That flank is looking pretty weak right now. But I'm still focusing here because I still got these 3 guys here. Gotta keep them stuck, so side scraping as much as I can, keep my front end into the rock. Trying to keep the angle of my side of my tank as much, not flat enough that it's going to penetrate, but not too angled to where they get a good shot like this. This would be a bad angle, because hey, look, they can see my front plate. If I tuck into the rock at this angle, it would cover my front plate, and the angle on my side would be just enough that it would bounce, which is kind of what I'm trying to do. Getting some good bounce on their front plate. You can see all these nice, wonderful green splotches where they hit. Hitting my tracks, I'll take that. You know what? I'm alright with that. I don't need to move very much. Come on, come on. Nope, you didn't quite have the guts to do it. Come on. So yeah, here's me dueling with 3 heavy tanks. And E-75. Look at that. How did he get so much damage where he's got to hide now? I have not taken any damaging hit yet. It's gonna happen, but so far, once it's 5 minutes in the game, I have not taken a damaging hit yet. For a medium tank against all these heavies, that's pretty good. like tracking that ISO, so I didn't have to worry about it. See, still, they just can't get the shots that they want. They just can't pull far enough around to really get the damage that they need to. And we're starting to lose 4-5. We used to be winning. Now we're losing there. Really starting to. You can see that tank flank is starting to fall. A lot of dead tanks that shouldn't be dead. Our whole southern section is non-existent. Everybody's in the north. They can just roll right up through the center and flank us, and I think that's pretty much what happens. So I'm just gonna, sit here, do my best. This is my job right here. Hold this corner, and I've got it. I've got the position. I've got the angle. I've got a good gun. These guys are not brave enough to want to come around and face me one at a time. And you know what? I'm not gonna argue with that. I'm okay with that. 110E5. He's trying to scrape back a little bit. There we go. And look. He uses gold. Where did he hit? Yeah, he used gold to penetrate. Look at that, right through that. Some of the thickest part of my turret. The only reason that happened because he used gold. Really don't like it. I mean, sometimes it's necessary, but really, come on, you're heavy. I'm a medium. There was 3 of you, okay, now 2, because one of them went off somewhere else, but really? You gotta use gold? That's so cheap. I really hate that when they do that. It's one thing if you're staring at the front end of a E100 or a Yak Tiger or one of those things that like 300 millimeters of armor that you can't penetrate. That's one thing, but come on. An E50 tier 9 medium, you gotta use gold. So now we're getting some damage. One up here. Got the commander's cupola. That's usually pretty weak. You can get some, if you hit it flat enough, you can do damage like that. So now I'm, luck's starting to turn. I was doing really good, holding that. Now all my buddies are gone. All my backup is gone. It's me and that 215 B183. This is not gonna last. But I'm gonna do the best I can. Go down fighting. Keep this 110 tracked in position. I can keep doing damage to him. Look at that, keep him tracked and keep doing damage. I'll try to.
The periscope is fixed, but it's still fragile.
Go figure, huh? The Tiger 2 is the one doing all the damage. Okay, come on, I want to look. Because he's just getting those nice shots. There's that one there in the top. Where else is he hitting me? Just keep hitting that one. Yeah. That's a couple of them right there. That's pretty much it. That's what he's hitting. Right there. That top. That's the only shot he's got, but it's doing the job, so he's taking it. So, you know what? Well played to him. He found a good spot. Aimed in. He did his job. Now the E5 gets frisky. He's like, I got him. Comes charging in. Yeah. Hey, take a hit. Well, finally. Already takes them out after the 215B. Got 500 damage on the E5. That's pretty much over from there. So, yeah. That's what we get. Defeat. Cool-headed. Survive at least 10 ricochets and non-penetrations in a row from enemy players. Tier 9 medium tank against some tier 10 heavies, tier 9 heavies. And look at this. 3,000 damage done. Almost 5,000 damage blocked. 17 hits received. 12 of them non-penetrating. That, my friends, is how you side scrape. Side scrape. If I can learn to talk, that is how you side scrape. That is like the best side scraping I've ever done. That's why I've got this game. Yes, it's a loss, but that side scraping there, great angling, perfect timing as, you know, when I'm wiggling, moving back and forth, keeping that front plate covered up. Really, really well up until half my team died and I had no backup, but they come running around and that Tiger 2 decides he's going to snipe. And I'm too worried about the E5 because, you know, he's a tier 10. The Tiger 2's hiding in the back, sniping at my Commander's Cupola. He's doing all the damage. You know, 2 against 1. What can I do? It was going to happen. So, yeah, really great game as far as, you know, this goes. Let's see, where did I come up? Second in damage. Behind the gun carriage, behind Artie. Go figure, right? Oh my gosh, look at that. Terra bad. So bad. And the enemy team. Oh, yeah. But really, yeah. 5120, really good game. T92, American Artie, really good game. Their team played really well. I mean, our team didn't do bad. They just couldn't finish it. They just couldn't quite get that one last hit. That these guys were getting that one extra hit. This guy got 2 extra hits. Other than that, that's what made the difference. Those last little bits of hits, bounces versus misses, and hits, you know, that makes a difference in the game. And side scraping? Okay, I've made them waste 5,000 damage. Okay, 5,000 damage of this wasted on me. If I hadn't been doing that, that 5,000 damage would have been going into me and these guys. That's 2.5 tanks worth of damage that I absorbed. That if I hadn't, would have been going into these tanks, causing them to die even faster. Game would have been over faster. Would have been a whole lot worse. Yeah. So, you know, that's how side scraping helps. All that damage that could have gone to killing somebody was just wasted, gone. Of course, that didn't help us very much because they just still weren't able to finish it out. But yeah, side scraping. Finally did it right. Don't know if I can do it again, but you know, we'll keep trying.